Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. What a blessed day we have here. And today is Wednesday. Every now and then those days run together, but today is Wednesday and we're here on this platform, Project 365, just to bring you some hope, encouragement, and inspiration. Well, I am Portia Wheatley. I am the founder and the president of a nonprofit organization acknowledged as Trophy of Life Incorporated, where we had the great honor and the privilege and the assignment to render hope, encouragement, and inspiration to you across the world. We're so grateful. Let me bring in my co-host.
Hello, everyone. My name is Takara Swan, and I'm so happy to be here with you today. Today, we have a great guest who I cannot wait to hear his story. I know he's overcome some things, and I just cannot wait for him to share those things with you. But before we get started, as always, if you have not done so, go to our YouTube page, like, share, subscribe, so that you can help us bring hope, encouragement, and inspiration to the entire world.
Those words out of our mouth, we have power in our words. It's going across the whole wide world. And we're grateful to God for that. Well, as Takira has shared today, we have a young man with us in the person of Raymond Jenkins. And we are so glad, we're elated that he is here with us, because he could have been gone and been 6 feet under.
Yeah.
But we're glad that he's here with us today. And I know he has a great message of hope, encouragement, and inspiration to share with us, the whole wide world. To those who have had a stroke and you are a stroke survivor, I am grateful to God. It's like you have another lease on life. You look at things different. You entertain people different. It is almost as if you do have a second lease on life, and you just do things a little different, because we could have been gone from here. We could have left our family, our church, our jobs, everything, because we would have been gone. Right? But for the grace of God, he still kept us here. And I do believe when we have a brush with death that way, or if in Ray's case, it was a stroke. In my case, it was a stroke. But in Takira's case, it may have been something else. But when we have a brush with death, and we're still here to tell it, there is purpose behind what we've experienced. And we will not keep our mouths shut as to what God has done. Well, on that note, I'm stepping back. And Raymond Jenkins, I am so glad that you accepted our invitation to come and share your experience. You have the platform. Share the way you want to share and whatever you want to share.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Hi, everybody. I'm not used to being on this side of the camera. This is not my lane. This really isn't. First of all, afternoon on Portia. Takira, who I call my little sister every time I see her, that's her little sister. Like you said, wow, it's going on 14 months. June 7th of last year, during the height of the pandemic, I have a stroke. And it wasn't like I was awake and aware of what was going on. I went to sleep the night before, like every other day. I went to sleep, I woke up, I went to use the restroom, and I fell. Just fell. I didn't know why I fell. I didn't know how I fell. I just ended up on the floor. And I said, my wife helped me up, and I said, okay, I'm fine. I just slipped. I'm just gonna go back to sleep because I was tired. And I went back to sleep, and I woke up, and the side of my face was sliding down, and I lost all movement in the left side of my body. My wife said, that's enough. Take you to the hospital. And for the next month, I spent an entire month in Johns Hopkins Hospital by myself. Now, one thing being in the hospital, was another thing being in the hospital by yourself. During the pandemic, I couldn't see anybody. I was calling people on the phone, people were calling, checking on me, but I didn't have that interaction. By the time I got done that entire month of being in the hospital, I knew the entire hospital staff, from janitors to doctors to nurses. Even now, I see them on the street or see them in passing when I went to rehab, and it was like just hi. When the next day, when I went to the hospital the next day, the doctor said, "We almost lost you." I had what they call in the medical terms, well, not a medical term, but my doctor called it a widowmaker. He said, because only 10% of the people that have this kind of stroke survive it, much less survive it in their sleep. I had what they call a double stroke on one side of my head, on one side of my brain, and another side at the same time. And I never thought that 42 years old have a stroke. Just doesn't seem normal. And it was due to me not taking care of myself, me saying, as a guy, "Oh, I'm all right. I'll walk it off. I'll take care of I'll see the doctor later." And I had other conditions that I've been putting to the side. I figured as long as I could keep going, I could keep working, and I could keep doing what I do. So I never really thought about it. And I wake up one morning and have a stroke, and it changes things. As Takira knows, I was the coach of the softball team at church. I played softball my whole life. I bowled my whole life, played sports, active my whole life, and then to wake up one day and can't do it again. Yet, I can't say you can't do it again, but I haven't been able to do it yet. It's changed everything. The summertime, especially in the summertime, I miss playing softball, miss getting out there, playing with my nephew, just being an active guy. And simple things like walking across the street to the store from my house is scary. It's just little things, the things a lot of people take for granted now. I have to think and think and think and think about. And it's really, I don't know how to say it, hindered me, not necessarily hindered me, but it's made me pause to do a lot of things. It's put a lot of things in perspective. Whereas though there was a time I would always be rushing to do something. Now I don't care. I don't rush to do anything. If I'm late, I'm late.
No.
That's how I feel now. If I'm late now. I'm not in a hurry to do anything anymore. Because I figure if I'm late for a meeting, the meeting's still gonna be there. If I'm late for an appointment, the building's still gonna be there. I just have to govern myself accordingly and give myself a little bit more time. But that's how it is now. I've learned how to take better care of myself, health as far as food. And I'm still very stubborn about asking for help. I'm not used to it. I'm always used to helping people. I'm not used to the one needing help. Like, I need help crossing the street in fear of just getting hit by a car. Having people help me to do things, just little simple things that I used to take for granted, did not even think about. I have to think about now. What step am I gonna make next? Is it gonna be on my left foot or my right foot? I still have some physical shortcomings as far as I don't have complete motion on my left arm and left leg yet, but it's getting there. I'm farther than I am a year ago, but I'm still not where I want to be. I miss the being the normal guy, just the guy thing. Running with chasing my nephew. He's 9 now, and it's no fun. I mean, it's still fun being with him, but I miss the male interaction. And now seeing people I haven't seen in a while, or with this pandemic, with everybody being so separate, now people who haven't seen me since my stroke, they kind of treat me different, like something's wrong with me, but I'm still me. My brain is still there. I'm still sharp. I'm still smart, but it's a little slower than it was. I'm not as fast, but I'm still there. I'm still me. I'm just at a slower version. I feel like an old man now. I mean, my wife has called me an old man the whole time we've been together, and I never thought about it. I just said, "Oh, I'm an old man." Now I really feel like an old man. I'm I'm thankful for my wife, who next month we celebrate 7 years. I know I wouldn't be here without her. I couldn't do this without her. Nobody else could tolerate me being me and still not asking for help and needing help and things like that. And it's just an adjustment. I mean, just a adjustment. Like Portia said, it's another part of my life. It's another chapter. And I have to get used to life after my stroke. Like, I'll probably never play softball again, so I have to learn how to fish. I'm still very competitive, but I have to find another way of using my mind, not necessarily my body. I'll probably never play flag football again, but that doesn't stop me from wanting to coach and help others. Still watch football and still interact in sports and still interact with everybody and help everybody the best way I can. And I've learned how to say no, that I can't do this, that I can't do that. And I've never done that before. The word no didn't register. Oh, I can do that. I can do that. I mean, I know how to do it, but I still can do it. Now it's, oh, I can't do that. I'm not even going to try. Because my biggest fear now is going back to the hospital, having another stroke, and not being able to come out on the other side. And now I'm just trying to learn how to live, learn how to walk, taking my time when I talk, learn how to do different things. Like with my job, I was a residential counselor for teenage boys. I can't do that no more because I can't get physical with the guys if I have to. But I can still help. I can still be a mentor. But I guess being a guy, there's certain parts of your life that are physical that you just have to learn how to adjust to that you can't do anymore. But and this pandemic is no fun either. Being with this pandemic is no fun. Being with the mask and getting all the looks like something's wrong with you, like you're somehow broken. And there's some days I feel like that. There's some days I don't want to go outside because, like, I don't want to go to the store with my wife because my wife moves in fast forward sometimes, and I don't want to hold her back and slow her down. So I just let her do. And I take my time, and with everything now, I take my time. I'm not in a rush to do anything.
Yeah. Life is going to be there for you. Life is going to be there. And it's great that you guys have a great understanding of each other. You know,
Yeah.
But I love the part when you said, I'm still smart. I can still do things, but I do things with you can do things with your mind, your brain, your mouth, but you just can't do it with your body. So it
Yeah.
is amazing that people sometimes when they, you know, again, like I said earlier, we're going to shout it from the mountaintop where the Lord has brought us from. Sometimes they talk to you like, you know, something is wrong with the brain. Well, sometimes it is something wrong with the brain when you have a
Yeah.
stroke, but thank
Yeah.
God for us, it's not. And you just have to be careful how you interact with people, how you talk to people. And Ray, if you were a mean person, if you were a mean person, nobody would want to be around you even after the stroke, you know.
Yeah.
But because of your personality and just being a nice person, who you are, you know, people are very, very concerned about how is Ray doing. So
Yeah.
it's good to, you never know. Now, of course, you did not know you were going to have a stroke. Nobody
No.
knows when they're going to have a stroke. So if, you know, when you put it out there in the atmosphere and in the universe, do unto others as you would have them to do unto you, it's going to, what you put out, it's going to come
Yeah.
back to you. It
Amen.
will come back to you. How did you feel when you were in the hospital? And I know you said it was in the middle of the pandemic and people could not, what was your emotions? Because I want, wait a minute, before you even answer, I want individuals, some people looking at this Facebook Live or the video, the broadcast, whatever you want to call it, many may not have ever had a stroke, but you may know a family member or a friend who have had a stroke. But then again, you never know, but for the grace of God, you never know when you might have one. So know how
Yeah.
to interact with people so that what you put out again will come back to you. What were your emotions when you really couldn't have visitors?
It was the loneliest time of my life. The absolute loneliest time of my life. I'm like, I have no problem being alone sometimes. I have no problem being alone by myself. But since we got married 7 years ago, that's as long as I've ever not seen my wife. It's one thing to see somebody on camera, but it's to see that interaction. I wasn't going to church. I'm used to being in church every Sunday.
Yeah.
Um, Seeing you guys every Sunday. Um, it was just lonely. It was really, really lonely. And
Wow.
it gets you to too much time spending thinking in your head what to do. I mean,
I think he was playing
the the
Is
first
that, wait a
night,
minute, is that Marie over there?
yes, yes,
What were you gonna say?
there was a couple of nights where it was like, is this it? Is this how it's gonna end? Because nobody really knew what this pandemic was about. And every time we heard it on the news, it was scary. And then having a stroke, and what if something happens in the hospital? That can't be the last time I see people.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be the last time I see people. There's, I took relationships for granted because I thought that, oh, I should have made that call. I should have called them back. I'll call them, and it put everything in perspective where now it's, oh, I told somebody I was gonna call them back. Let me call them back. Let me call somebody just to say hello. How you doing? Because you never know what another person's dealing with. And a text message isn't good enough. Anybody can text, okay, I'm okay. But to hear it, especially
Yeah.
people you know and love, to hear what they say and how they say it will give you a better answer than them texting, I'm okay.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, definitely. That is, you're so right about it. You're so right about it. What would your with this new lease on life, just speak to precious moments now? Because prime example, after after the stroke that I had, I look I'm like, ooh, I had to step back from some pastoral roles that I had. Chief elder at Kingdom Worship Center. So I had to step back because at that time I just couldn't coordinate. I could not comprehend and all of that. So I had to step back. But when I completely stepped back, it was like, oh, there's a tree. Oh, that's my
Yeah,
friend. You look at things so
I get that.
differently.
Yeah,
Talk,
it's
just talk to that for a couple of minutes. It's,
at Kingdom, I did security. Now it's like it was people were just numbers and faces, and now I notice different things about people, the way they walk, the way they interact with people, the way I interacted with people, the way people interacted with me. It's more personal now.
yeah.
Interaction is more personal now. Like I told you on Portia, I haven't seen you in almost a year.
Oh, I know.
And since I joined that church, you sat in the front on that pillar. And even when I got married in that church, that's where you sat. And not seeing those people that you see on a regular basis that you interact with,
Yeah.
that even when we hear once a week, how you doing? Makes you feel better. Makes you
It
feel like
does.
it doesn't, like you're not just a person going by in the street.
Yeah. How did your spiritual relationship with God increase?
Oh,
Yeah, speak to that.
that's something I've always struggled with, because a lot of things in life have not necessarily changed, but affected my thought patterns. I'm a thinker. I think about a lot all the time. And there was times where it was, why me? And then it got to the point where, okay, this is the hand I'm dealt with. What do I do next? What are you trying to get me to do? And it was his way of getting my attention, tell me slow down and enjoy life a little bit more. The little things. And not to be rushed to do things and to go this place and go that place and have this and have that. And just, it's okay. Life is okay. And to appreciate the people in your life and to say thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
To say thank you, because I shouldn't be here. Mathematically, statistically, I shouldn't be here. And it's nothing but my faith. It's nothing I did. I did everything wrong. He kept me here. I didn't take care of myself. I didn't take care of the gift he gave me. And
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I hear you. I'm over here squeezing myself, trying to contain my hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Give God some praise. Before I turn it over to Takira, I remember I like to wear heels. And I remember when I had the stroke, I hardly could wear flats. And I hardly could wear flats. And I love to give God praise. And I would give God praise for people, in the sense of, if I remember in particular in different situations where people were sick and they could not dance for themselves. So I would go over to them, have them put their hand on my shoulder, and I would dance for them. And then when I had the stroke, I'm like, God, I can't dance. I lost my rhythm. I could not move my left foot. I could not pat it. It was something else. And talking about those emotions. But when I got my dance back, that's it. I dance. Oh, Jesus, before they get Zus out of Jesus, I'm gone. So we have to know to give God praise at any time. At any time, we never know when we don't have that opportunity nor that privilege. So it behooves us to actually give him praise at all times. I'm so grateful that you are still with us to tell this testimony.
Yes.
It's this, and to me now it's the little things. Like, so I miss seeing you at church on Sunday. You always have a hug for me. And I don't know if you remember, you were one of the first people I met at the church because you sat in that one seat. And I asked my wife, who is that little lady with those fine shoes sitting in the front? Like, I didn't know. Yeah. And she introduced herself, and I love her and I love the family. I miss Uncle Gordon. Yeah. And congratulations on we've been 40 years. When I'm proposed to my wife, it's the little things. When I proposed to my wife in church, the first person to congratulate me was Uncle Gordon.
I believe it. I'm grateful for him as well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so grateful that you are still here with us, for sure.
Little sister.
Hey, you have said some really, really, really good things that anyone that's watching this can take away from your experience and what you've gone through. And where do I start? So one of the things that you can really take from this that I really appreciate that you said is slowing down and appreciating the little things. Even if you who's watching this who have not been through a stroke, please don't wait till something happens to just take a step back and just look around, like literally look around. Yeah. You know, in society, like especially like, you know, in our society in America, we are always like, so come on. We gotta go. Yep. And no one takes time to just rest a little bit. Take time to appreciate the person standing next to you. Show a little humanity to the person walking across the street and just saying good morning. And once you can't do that anymore, you realize how something is so small as saying good morning to someone and someone saying good morning back when you're not expecting it and brightening up your day. You know, little things like that make someone's day. So we just have to remember to do small things like that. Show some kindness, show some extra love. I remember it was an art installation. You know, I love art. There's an art installation that was done, I believe it was in New York. And it was done up in the skyscrapers, and it was saying, look up, because no one looks up. Takes the time to look at the sky, look at the clouds, look at the sun. And if you didn't look up, you didn't see the art installation. So it was just such a great experience and a test to show that people, you don't take time out to recognize what's around you. Go ahead.
It's the little things. It's the little
things. Yes.
The little things, like no one notices the people just walking by. Take your time and see people walk by. You can see everybody's in a car going 60 miles an hour.
Right.
And you miss these things. I'm used to driving. Now I can't drive. And I just look out the window when I'm in the car now. It's not paying attention to what's on the radio or I just look out the window.
And it's amazing what you see, right?
Where you have that one focus.
Yeah. And it's amazing what you see when you just take time to look out the window. And another thing I know that we do in our area, I'm not sure about our viewers, where you are. One of the, the greetings, how you doing? Everyone says, well, how you doing? But no one really is asking how you're doing. They're just saying, oh, how you doing? That's another way to say, hey, or hi.
Yeah. No one stops to get the answer.
No one stops to get the answer. And sometimes people will say that to you, not even looking at you. They just know, okay, someone's passing me. How you doing? And keep their head down on their phones, or they're looking at someone else. Hey guys, next time when someone says, how you doing? Even if they're not really asking, I want to challenge you to say, hey, I'm doing good. Or, hey, you know what? Not so good. And see if they stop and say, Hey,
Yeah.
what do you mean not so good? Just surprise them. Start a dialogue with them. We have to realize that this life that we have, even if you live to be 300 years old, life really is so short, and the people around you, we cannot take that for granted. And
Yeah.
I'm just so grateful that, like I said, you're still here. I'm grateful for the growth that you've had in this
Yeah.
journey that you've taken. And like you said, even though you can't do some things, I'm so glad that you've seen the silver lining and the light on the other side, that hey, I can't play softball right now, but I'm still useful, because you are still useful. Don't think,
Yes.
just because you've been through this stroke, or, I can't do things like I used to. Don't think, that no one needs you. That's one thing that the enemy tries to put in your head, like, oh, no one needs you. You're not going to be the same. That's not true. I'm
There are
telling you,
days
your mind's
there are days I
there.
feel like that now. There are days I'm like, my wife goes 100 miles an hour. She's doing 100 different things, and it's like I just wanted to stop and say hi.
Marie, you hear that? Stop and say hi sometimes.
I
In
mean,
my defense, somebody got to do it.
it's the little things, like when eating a meal. I'm not on my phone anymore. Should tell you,
Yeah.
I'm not. They before my stroke, I couldn't go from one room to the next without having my phone in my hand. Now
Yeah.
I can leave my phone somewhere. Don't pay it no mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Because guess what? Whatever's on that phone will still
We'll
be
still
there
be there.
when you finish eating. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I enjoy going to school.
I did too.
I'm
It's
scared to
little
ask her,
things.
what did she say?
We went to the movies yesterday for the first time in over a year.
Good for
Awesome.
you.
We
Awesome.
together. We have, because we're married, we have our lives, our individual lives, and our own circles and things like that. But because we were both working and both doing 800 things at one time, and we rarely got time to be together, just the two of us. We were always together. I mean, you saw one, you see the other, but there's always somebody else around. It was just the two of us.
Yeah,
That's good. That's
things
good.
change.
That's so good. Well, I just want to thank you so much for coming on our broadcast and sharing your journey with us, being, candid with us and open and transparent. And I just really, really, really appreciate the person that you are. So I hope you know that, okay?
Oh,
I really do appreciate you, and just
I'm not used
stay
to all this
encouraged.
attention.
Yeah, stay encouraged. Keep your head up, okay?
Don't ask. Don't ask. I'm scared to ask what she laughing at. No.
Oh,
Matter
She's
of fact,
laughing because I'm not used to all this attention.
oh Lord.
I'm usually in the background. She's in our relationship, she's the attention getter. You can hear her and you can see her before you know she's there. And that's not me.
well,
I
it's all
know.
good.
You guys know that.
It's all
It's
good.
okay.
Matter of fact, Marie, come in and we're gonna let you give a shout out to your business.
Yes.
You see, Rick.
I'm trying to say as far as possible, this is all about him, not me.
Okay.
But I'm just glad, I'm just grateful to God that he's still here with us. Even though he, like you said, he's very stubborn, but that's just how dudes do. I've come to that realization.
I've always been stubborn.
They will do what they want to do when they want to do it, and I'm not even gonna complain. But
Good.
I'm just grateful to God. And like I said, it has made us think a lot of our relationship, where God has taken us next, because we learn to lean and depend on each other now. Because before, we each had our own little thing going on. Yes, we got together. Yes, we talked, had a good laugh. But now it made us realize how, even though we were together, we were still separate. And a lot of people don't realize that till you're thrown into a situation where you cannot be separate. You have to be together. So it has grown our relationship mentally, spiritually, Lord, physically.
Between the pandemic and the stroke, this year we probably spent the most we've ever spent together in the 7 years we've been married.
Listen here.
I used to see her in the morning before work. I used to see her in the hour and a half before work and in the hour and a half after work. So it's like 3 hours a day. And now, yeah, y'all can come and get her. I think marriages are meant for 24 hours a day.
Listen.
Yeah,
It
it's all
really,
good.
it really makes you understand.
You have to like the person you're married to.
Listen.
Not just love, but you have to like them. Because it's the
Really
little,
like
it's the little things. Little
Yes.
things.
That's a whole nother topic, y'all.
That's a whole nother
Well,
project.
let's bring it in.
Yeah,
'cause
let's
we
bring it
ready to
back
go
in.
there.
Let's bring it back in. Let's bring it in. But I'm just grateful to God that He's here. And I hope that other people that, you know, have gone through this is it helps you. The one thing I think we also discovered from this, that a lot of people who go through a stroke, they give you physical therapy, they give you medication, but they don't deal with the mental part of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And that is something I hope that, you know,
And it's something you can't go through by yourself.
yes, you
Mhm.
have to talk to somebody.
I realize that.
You have to talk to somebody. I mean, I know we always say, you know, God is our provider, He's our healer, He's our everything. Don't get me wrong, He is. But just like Bishop Ralph talked about on Saturday, our thoughts control sometimes how we feel. And if we don't get that thought pattern together, that feeling could go a whole nother way. I'm thankful to God that He knows God for Himself, and He was able to, you know, do some things beyond that point mentally. And I think that's what made him get stronger, want to do things a whole lot different. So if you have a family or a friend or whoever it is that suffered a stroke, think about what they're thinking about right now, because
It's more than
everything
physical.
has changed for them.
It's more than
Everything is
physical.
changed.
Yeah,
It definitely is.
it's not just physically getting back to where they need to be, it's also mentally where they need to be. So
And when you have a stroke, it's not just you healing, it's the other people around you in your world healing too,
Yeah.
because they have to learn to adjust to you too,
Yeah.
the new you. Not necessarily the new you, the different you.
Different.
She's used to the physical part of our relationship as far as she's 5'2", 5'4", I'm sorry.
give me my 2 inches.
I'm
Give me my
6'4", 6'2", and reaching stuff on the top shelf, I can't always get to.
Yeah, it's all good. And God has orchestrated this. It's not, it's something
Yeah.
in this that you're to learn to turn that painful experience into purpose
Absolutely.
and ministry, so that
Absolutely.
now you can really teach a class to husbands and wives on stroke survival and marriages of individuals who have had a stroke. One or the other has had a stroke. Now, a pastor who never had a stroke, they can talk it from head knowledge, but when someone that has had that experience, that's a whole nother level. So we're grateful to God.
Where if you've never had one, you don't. You hear people say, "I know what you're going through." No, you don't.
They don't.
Unless you've had one, no, you don't. And even if you had one, every stroke is different.
Yeah.
There are different levels of strokes. Mm-hmm. It affects you differently. It affects everybody differently. Like when I know people have had strokes, they keep on going. Oh, I had a stroke. No, this almost took me out. And how do I explain it to my wife?
I mean, you wouldn't have to explain, bro.
I mean, how do I can't do this without her.
Right.
And
it's teamwork. It is.
Take care of myself even more, not just for me, but for her. Because that's not fair to her.
Right. God has given you grace for this. So it definitely is a blessing that you're here to tell your story and to encourage other survivors. Like I said earlier, if it is not or was not a stroke and it was something else that literally took the wind out of you, that blew you off your feet, but yet you're still here give God praise for that you're still here. And just like Ray said earlier, he may not be able to use his body, but he can use his mouth, his brain. He's, even if, now I'm getting ready to go off on a tangent again. We're just grateful to God. We're grateful to God. So
I'm still me, Portia. I'm still me.
good. Yeah.
So
on that note, we're going to leave you for today. I'm sorry. What you say,
I do have something to say though, because I wanted to say this earlier, but I'm like, I'm not gonna, listen, when he said you don't know what someone's been through, and I'm not even trying to be funny, because you talked about, you're about to go on a tangent and, start your praise. Let me tell you. So Miss Portia, of course, she just, she told her she's gone through a stroke and she couldn't dance even in her flats. So when you see her dancing like in the parking lot or something random, you can't judge the person. She's dancing because at one point, that's something she could not do, something that she loved to do, something that God put her on this earth to do. If you ever seen her praise, I'm telling you, it's like, oh no, he made her to do this. And, so just don't be so judgmental when someone is praising God or giving thanks, because you don't know what they have been through. So I just want to say that, because that was an important piece there.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. So in all things, we are to give God praise. Whew. This is another day that the Lord has made, and we choose to rejoice and be glad in it. Well, we're going to leave you for today, but just know that we will be back tomorrow on this platform, Project 365, to render hope, encouragement, and inspiration. And until tomorrow, be blessed, my brother, my sister, my nephew, my niece. Until we see you tomorrow, blessings to you.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.